Stephanie here with a video for My Favorite Things. This week on the MFT blog, we are sharing some fun love theme projects, and we are going to have a different theme for 3 days here on the blog and on the YouTube channel. So to start off, we're going to do some treats for kids in school or just any young kids in your life, and also a little teacher gift as well. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to create a little candy treat. So I have a couple boxes of Smarties, and I think these might just be a Canadian thing. In Canada, Smarties are actually chocolate-covered candies, and you can get them in these cute little boxes here. So they work perfectly for Valentine's Day because you can create little fun treats with them. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to use the Castle Die-namics die set, which just recently came out from MFT, and I'm also going to use the Once Upon a Time and the Knight in Shining Armor stamp sets, and we're going to kind of dress up these little candy boxes just to make them a little bit more fun. So I've went ahead and cut out the Castle die from 2 different shades of gray cardstock. I'm using cement gray and gravel gray cardstock. And I'm using the English brick stencil to add some brick detail to the castle pieces that I've die cut here. Now I'm doing one castle in the darker gray color, and then I'm doing one in the lighter gray color, and just to kind of make it a little bit different. And we're also going to do these boy and girl themes. So I'm going to make one for girls and one for boys. So what I'm doing is I'm adding the little castle pieces directly onto the box of Smarties. It worked out perfectly that these little boxes are almost the same size. They're slightly wider on the sides there. You can see a tiny bit of the boxes, but I thought it looked fine, and I just think it's a cute way to kind of dress up this fun little treat. So I'm just assembling the castle pieces on the box. I'm adding the darkest castle here to this one, and then using the lighter pieces to dress it up for the window in the top area. And then I'm going to take the lighter color castle and do the exact same thing. I'm going to adhere this to the front and back of the Smartie box, and then I'm going to add the little windows and then the top pieces of the castle to this as well. Now to dress these up, I'm going to use some images from the Once Upon a Time and the Knight in Shining Armor stamp sets, and I've already went ahead and die cut those pieces and colored them so that we can just add them to our treat boxes. So I have this cute little knight die here, and then I have the cute little princess, and we're going to add these to the front of the castle area. Now I decided to just adhere them directly with regular adhesive. I was originally going to do some foam adhesive, but I thought that they would be a little bit easier to kind of fall off of these little treat boxes, since the intent, is to have a bunch of them, and you could have your kid take them to school for their class or whatever. So I decided just to adhere them directly to the castle piece. So I just used tape runner there, and I'm adding her directly on the front, and it's just a super cute little scene with a fun little treat kind of stuck in between the 2 sides of the castle. Now for the boy one, I did the same thing. I just took the little knight die here and I put him onto the front of his castle. And then I thought that they needed a little bit more. I thought they were a little bit too plain just with the 2 little images there. So I decided to add some birds and butterflies from the Once Upon a Time stamp set onto the castles as well. So for the girl castle, I added a butterfly to the top area there, and then the boy castle, I added a bird. And then I decided to flip both of the castles over and add another butterfly and bird to each of those as well. And then once I have those added on there, the treat is finished, and we have enough space at the bottom area of the back of the castle to write a to and from for whoever these are going to be given to. And then you can open the candy treat without even having to remove any part of the castle. So just a fun, quick, and easy way to kind of dress up a fun kids treat for Valentine's Day. Now, in addition to kids' treats, it's always fun to make teacher gifts as well, and I love a gift for a teacher that a child can make on their own. So I thought this was a fun way to use some supplies and create a fun little pencil treat for teachers. So I have a bunch of different Valentine's themed pencils. I just picked them up at my local dollar store, and I just want to create a little embellishment here to dress up this pencil, and I'm going to use some stamps and dies and some pattern paper from My Favorite Things to do that. So I have the new flop card heart dynamics, and I just want to use the heart piece of this. I'm not going to actually create a flop heart card. I just want to use the heart die cut. And I have a piece of craft cardstock, and I also have the craft striped pattern paper pieces. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this heart from both the plain craft and then the pattern paper striped piece. And my plan for the 2 hearts is to be able to adhere them back to front to each other and kind of sandwich the pencil in between. But before we do that, I want to do a little bit of stamping to dress up the plain piece of craft paper. We're going to leave the stripe piece as the back of the heart, and we're going to dress up the craft piece to kind of make it have a little bit of a sentiment on it, and then get that prepared to put this together. And then you get that really great stitch detail around the outside of the heart, so I really love that. So I'm going to use the new Well-Connected Alphabet stamp set. This is a really great stamp set because it allows you to create your own sentiments and your own greetings by stamping the letters individually and connecting them together to create words. So for the heart, I want it to say write in the middle and use the version that would be if I'm going to write something with a pencil. So I'm going ahead and stamping this with black licorice ink, and I'm just kind of going one letter at a time and stamping them so that they all join together and it looks like a handwritten word. I just think it looks so awesome, and I just think it really adds to the design of this because we're going to use some label stamps as well, and it's just kind of fun to mix up the two different fonts. So I am stamping these out, and I originally started to stamp them out with black ink, and I decided I wanted them to be red. I thought it needed a little bit of a pop of color. It was just the plain craft with the black stamping, and I didn't want it to be completely black. So I decided to stamp these in red, and now I'm just taking my scissors and trimming them out, leaving a slight border. And I didn't have a stamp that said the, so I decided just to use a black pen and write that in. So don't be afraid to use your pen and kind of handwrite part of the sentiment if it works out. And then when I'm all done here and I add the labels, I have "You are the right stuff" for the sentiment, which is just a fun, punny sentiment to go with the pencil that we're going to enclose on the inside. And then you can have your child write to and from the teacher on the stripe side with a pen or a marker or whatever works. And then when you put the adhesive on both sides, you just kind of sandwich the pencil in the middle, and then those hearts hold onto each other because they have adhesive all over the back of them. And it's just a fun way to kind of dress up the pencil and just create a cute Valentine for a teacher. And then that is going to complete our two projects today, one for kids and one for teachers. Hope you enjoyed this video, and you can check out a couple more videos on the screen here, and I will see you tomorrow for more Valentine love theme fun. Thanks for watching.